Icicle. Popsicle. Testing. 1, 2, 3. Echo. Welcome back to the ROG Arena. At the Microsoft Store at Easton. This is the adapter. Whoop. Okay. We are going to get into picks and bands here. Okay, cool. This is my fight song. Welcome back to this week's ROG Arena at the Microsoft Store Easton Town Center. Today, the League of Legends tournament kicking off game one with Three Fists Brown versus the red side, which team name I'll get in one moment. But we're going to get into this pick ban phase. First ban's going to be Sejuani, so jumping out quick with a jungle ban here. Sejuani, a magic damage jungler. Good engage, decent clear, so getting that off the table. Red side decides to ban the Riven. Riven is a comfort pick for the top lane on the blue side, so getting that out of his hands, making sure that he's not super comfortable on a champion that he plays quite a bit. Riven known for her dueling potential, a lot of combos. Very difficult champion to play though, so when played well is a scary threat in the top lane. Second ban is Gnar, so another one of those duelists up in the top lane there. Gnar, once he's in combat long enough, switches to a Mega Gnar form, so goes from range to melee. So a good mix of engage and poke from the Gnar, so getting that off the table. Second ban from the red side is Yasuo. Red team doing their research here, banning away the Yasuo from Xfinity, who is a Yasuo one-trick, so making sure that this blue team isn't too comfortable with what they're playing as of now. Last ban from the blue side is Janna, so one of the best supports in the game right now is going to take that away. One of the biggest abusers of Ardent Sensor, so making sure that those combos aren't being used to their full potential. Last ban from the red is Thresh, one of those hook champions able to displace and peel for his AD carry. So, into picks. Sorry about that overlay. Technical issues there. But here's the lobby. First pick for blue side is Maokai. AP tank in the top lane. More than likely could be flexed into the jungle, but we will see what comes from that. Known for his tankiness and his lockdown potential. Red side picks Darius and Ezreal. Darius, a bruiser up in the top lane, able to win very good elongated fights. Ezreal also picked up, not sure if jungle or in the AD role. Ezreal jungle is flavor of the month, so to speak, as of now, but has been playing the marksman role before. Very high damage and self-mobility. Cho'Gath and Fizz picked for the blue side. Fizz a good mobile assassin, and Cho'Gath known for his extreme tankiness and his ability to run down the other team's AD carry and nuke him with that true damage ultimate. We'll see if he is able to get enough stacks and health to make that a big enough threat.
What must be done?
Red side picks Tristana as their last pick. Good late game scaling AD is going to confirm the Ezreal in the jungle. So triple AD threat from the red side right now. Second round of bans. Soraka taken off the table first from the red side. Two support bans from the red side, trying to perhaps target the support. Soraka known for her immense healing and overall annoyance in that, making trades very hard when she can just heal the AD back up to full health. Blue side bans away the Galio. Galio, an anti-mage in the mid lane more often, but sometimes played in the top lane. Good to counter it. A good ban to counter... To stop the counter from their team comp, blue side picking 3 magic damage threats, and the red side picking 3 AD threats.
Fine, I'll just be over here.
Last ban from the red side is Xayah. Xayah's wave clear and AoE damage is very high, with those feathers being able to pierce after casting an ability, as well as the self-invulnerability from her ultimate, able to dodge out threats. And last ban from the blue side is Lulu, so lots of these Ardent Sensor abusing champions banned away here, trying to take away that power that the support has been given in these last couple patches. Last round of picks here, support is going to pick Sona, so good with Ardent Sensor. It is the support item that gives attack speed on heals and shields. Sona also known for her Crescendo ultimate, the AoE stun. Is very squishy, so see if she can survive in these fights. Blue side locks in their 2 champions, locks in Varus and Rakan. Varus a poke AD carry, that piercing arrow Q ability, good for long range damage. And Rakan is going to even their team fight out. Rakan, one of, if not the best, engage supports as of now. His ability to dash in, lock down a champion or multiple, and then dash back out makes him very reliable. Also able to build Ardent Sensor, but not nearly as abusive as some of these champions that have been banned. So these are the team comps for today. From the blue side, we see a Very heavy magic damage composition. Varus, while being an AD carry, does have quite a bit of magic damage in his kit, so we'll see if that helps or hinders them here. But they do have a very big front line and some good damage to back it up. Looks like a bit of a team fight composition. However, they don't have too much wave clear, so we'll see if that bites them in the butt. From the red side here, definitely a late game comp. Darius does very well winning his lane, so trying to shut that Maokai down. And then the Tristana, Sona, even the Ezreal scale very well into the late game with their damage potential. And Malzahar just an overall safe pick throughout the game, able to lock down one champion with that ultimate. So we're going to jump into this game here. We do have a 3-minute delay on the stream from what's live, so we will be back momentarily to get into this first game in this week's ROG Arena. The summoner spells have been picked, the runes have been selected, and the mastery's changed. We are going to get into our first game here at the ROG Arena. Some masteries being flared and pings immediately. Blue team pinging to perhaps do some defense here, but we'll see what level 1 shenanigans end up happening, or if any happen at all. Looks like normal level 1. Blue team being a little more cautious than the red side, but generally speaking, doing some point defense here, just watching the entries to the jungle, making sure nothing's gonna happen. Bot side starts from both junglers. Looking at the support items here, Rakan has started the Ancient Coin line, so the gold and mana coin drops that are available from that item should allow him to get to his Ardent Sensor spike earlier than the Sona. As long as he's picking up those coins, it is known for its high gold gain. Sona does get a little more poke, which she is very good at in the early game from that Sorcerer support item. Giving her gold every time she hits an enemy with a spell. Blanking on the name of that. Both top laners going Doran Shield, so not too much damage being built from either one, but a lot of regen. Darius doesn't need a ton of damage built in the early game because of his passive. One second, some technical difficulties, we'll be right back in. Sorry about that, we are into this. Expect Malzahar in the mid lane to push the Fizz in. Fizz being a melee champion will not be able to contest the wave clear that Malzahar gets with that Malefic Visions. Fizzying forward, so going a little aggressive, but Malzahar hitting the Q and casting the E on Fizz. Gonna put a lot of damage down. Fizz has started Corrupting Potion, so has a ton of regen to heal back up. But the Malzahar used a ton of mana there. See if that affects the rest of how this lane goes, but Malzahar is effectively out of mana. Did start Doran's Ring, so he's going to get a little bit mana back. The Cho'Gath invading the Ezreal. Sorry, the Ezreal invading the Cho'Gath here, and some action in the mid lane. Passive has been procced. E goes down, the Ignite is dropped, but Malzahar pops his barrier. Fizz forced to flash out. And the Ezreal going in hard on the Cho'Gath. Arcane shifts forward, Cho forced to flash. Ezreal flash forward, gets the Q auto, and that's first blood for the red side. Ezreal will be able to pick up this blue buff from the Cho'Gath. And that is a great start for Ezreal jungle. Fizz Qs forward. It hits the E. And Malzahar picks up the kill on Fizz middle. Fizz misplaying there just a little bit, missing the E. And that is enough for Malzahar to pick up the kill. So 2-0 start for the red side. Putting them just under 1,000 gold ahead into this first game. The Ezreal and Malzahar will be able to back and pick up some juicy items level 1. CS lead for the Maokai. Darius pulls him in. W. Backs up to hit the empowered damage on the Q and gets a last auto. Not able to get the 5th auto to get that Blood Rage, but does put down some good harass. Cho buys the Hunter's Machete, so just trying to get to his jungle item as fast as possible. Is going to be behind this Ezreal. Ezreal getting a 3-buff start and a kill will give him a big influx in gold once he does go back to base. Get ain't alive by the Raptors. Should just back. Malzahar picks up Lost Chapter, so gonna be able to keep that mana pool up as he does get mana back on levels as well as the mana back per kill given from his Doran's Ring and his E Malefic Vision. So shouldn't have too many mana problems for the rest of this laning phase as long as he manages it correctly. Is gonna give him closer to that Merlinomicon to get that cooldown reduction, the Grievous Wounds, everything that Malzahar uses to get control of the game. Red Smite and a Longsword picked up from Ezreal. Ezreal's going to go for that Warrior Enchant, give him the AD, the cooldown, and give him that early game skirmishing ability. It's kind of why you pick the champion, is very good early game damage, and the jungle circumvents his dependence on items that he would have otherwise in the bot lane. Maokai picking up a Glacial Shroud early, so it's going to give him cooldown reduction, mana, and armor. Going to allow him to spam his abilities out and clear those waves, as well as staying alive from Darius, who does all physical damage other than his ultimate if you have 5 stacks on him previously. Should allow him to stay relatively safe in lane from here on out. We'll build more than likely towards a Iceborne Gauntlet, but could be the Frozen Heart path if you choose to go more tanky. Bot pretty even in CS here. Malzahar is actually has twice the CS of the Fizz right now. Malzahar just pushing in Fizz and making it very hard to get any form of last hits under tower. Reds does ping out the Cho'Gath on the Wolf, so they do know he's there. Ezreal creeping towards his bot lane, knows there isn't any vision. Is going to look for a gank as the blue side pushes his wave out. He's waiting patiently in the bush. They go up toward it. Are they going to run into the Ezreal? Ezreal starts the autos. Con W's out for safety. Could have just used his E, but it works the same. And just some good damage put down from the Ezreal. Going to go back to farming here. Maokai steps inside the Darius, drops everything he has. Running away. Slowed by the sapling, isn't able to get any more damage down, and looks like Darius is just going to walk back and go back to base. But this CS disparity in the mid lane is going to become a problem for Fizz. Already dying 1v1 to the Malzahar. It's going to put the Malzahar very much ahead of the Fizz, and if Fizz isn't able to 1v1 assassinate the Malzahar, he's going to get free reign to push out the mid wave and just keep getting an item advantage. Darius gets the pull. Auto W to get that auto attack reset. Does miss the Q. Maokai Qing him, using that arcane smash to push him away. Fizz picking up a Dark Seal, so trying to increase the use he gets out of those potions, but just taking so much damage from those Malefic Visions and those Voidlings. Malzahar's running away with this lane right now. Red side keeping this 1,000 gold lead up. Sony getting some poke damage. Malzahar ults the Fizz and picks up the solo kill. So that is 2 kills to none for this Malzahar in the mid lane. And this Malzahar is going to become a real problem. Not a ton of mobility other than the Fizz from this blue side. So if Malzahar is able to hit that ultimate and suppress one target, it's almost always a kill. It's going to require a lot to stop this Malzahar now. Is up twice the CS of the Fizz. Phage completed from Darius, so that movement speed on auto attack and minion kill will potentially help him chase this Maokai down. Darius having a little bit of trouble sticking to the Maokai. Maokai with his slows and knockbacks and snares, giving the Darius a hard time. As level 6s come online, the Cho'Gath is significantly scarier than Ezreal. E popped onto the Malzahar for some damage. Fish does get thrown. Barrier pop by the Malzahar. Ignite drop from the Fizz. Flash, but does die to the Ignite. So that is going to be a solo kill for the Fizz. Does use the Ignite, but trades his summoner spells with the Malzahar. Barrier for Ignite as well as the Flash from Malzahar. So Malzahar now in a little bit of a scary spot, but was sitting on quite a bit of gold. So able to pick up that Morellonomicon. 9 minutes in is a huge item advantage, so should be able to stay safe in lane. Var's going for Blade of the Ruin King. Does have Bilgewater Cutlass and a recurve bow. Those 2 items building into Blade of the Ruin King. Tristana opting instead to go for the Infinity Edge crit build. Does have the BF sword, is going to look to build towards a Zeal item. More than likely Static Shift. Gank on the top lane. Ezreal EQs forward. Pops that Stormray Surge. Maokai pops his ult to try to one away. Darius flashes forward. Maokai mashes flash. Darius dunkaroos the tree. And that is going to be a clean kill from this top lane. Ping's going out to try to catch a Darius, but nothing comes of it, and Darius is just going to walk out. Ezreal now with a kill and an assist. Keeping up relatively well with the Cho'Gath in farm. Cho'Gath with significantly more AoE than the Ezreal, so makes sense that he's able to clear the Krugs and other camps like that. A little ward battle. Flash alt W from the Rakan hits both champions. Tristana does get to rocket jump out. Sona going very low and falls to the Varus auto attack, and Tristana forced to just run away. Sona does have Flash and Exhaust still available. Curious why it wasn't used. Perhaps just CC'd and caught off guard there, or just a misplay, but does net blue team their second kill. Varus now with a 20 CS lead, and now a kill is quite a bit ahead of this Tristana. Ezreal walking mid lane, just looking to just cut across. Might run into the Rakan here in the jungle, but opts to just cut back towards his tower instead. Blue team picks up the first Infernal Dragon, so that's a huge stat increase for them. It's the percent attack damage and AP increase will benefit everybody on their team. A little more efficiency out of the items that they're buying. Hextech Revolver finished from Fizz, so opting for either Gunblade or Protobelt, both gonna add to his burst damage quite a bit. Revolver very good for Fizz. It applies on auto attacks, and his Q, which is the forward dash, is an auto attack, or does apply on hit effects, so we'll benefit from that Hextech Revolver, allowing some quick and consistent burst if he's able to hit that ability. Ezreal's still not backing. More than likely, we'll be able to pick up a full Warrior enchant once he does go back to base, looking to perhaps kill this Gromp and then head back and pick that item up. Cho'Gath finishing Cinderhulk, so gonna start those tank stats. Those tank stats are gonna start coming online. The health stacking being amplified by that passive on Cinderhulk will allow him to be a big health-riddled lizard monster, able to run down the squishy champions and eat them with his ultimate. Warrior enchant and boots finish from the Ezreal. And does pick up his cooldown boot, so comfortably sitting at 20% CDR. But we do have a fight in the bot lane. R from Varus, all hitting the Tristana. Fish goes down to the Sona. Tristana forced a flash and heal out, but Fizz with a clean E flash kills the Tristana and then picks up the Sona kill. So that is another 2 kills for Fizz and equalize the kill count in this game to 4 and 4. Red side is up about 600 gold, which is almost negligible at this point in the game. But this Fizz is starting to come online, and with the Darksteel is picking up AP on kills. Ezreal hits the ultimate on the Varus, forces the heal, trading autos, and the Varus looking to trade back, but the Ezreal does get to pick up a clean solo kill, flashes the Mastery. So a good solo kill from him. Builds a Sapphire Crystal, so is going to go towards that Sheen. Just looking to add to his Q poke that the Ezreal is known for. Malzahar and Darius up in this top lane. Gonna try and take this tower, but Fizz is spotted on the ward and forces them to retreat. Blade of the Rune King finished from Varus, so hitting that first item Power Spike is gonna give him a lot of lifesteal as well as percent max health damage. Will be able to damage this, do more damage to this Darius, and eventually the Malzahar who is sitting on a Ruby Crystal, so will be building at least one health item, as well as some self-peel with the slow that comes from that active. Malzahar still comfortably sitting at double the CS of Fizz. Running amok in this lane, but Fizz making much better roam plays across the map. Having a lot more pressure, but the Malzahar is a huge threat right now if left alone. Sheen picked up by the Ezreal. Ezreal hitting a 2-hour item spike. Those 2 items change patch to patch, but Ezreal, once he gets to that mid-game 2 item point, does an obscene amount of damage from a decent range. Ezreal does have Storm Raider Surge, so once he does, that quick chunk of your health is able to reposition with that Keystone and move around the map more fluidly. Pink Ward's going to spot out this Malzahar. Then bot lane forced to run away. Q goes out by the Rakan. Looking to keep this Pink Ward alive. Malzahar forced back mid. Fizz was in the bot side, so that was a 4v3. Ezreal uses that pressure to steal Cho'Gath's blue buff. And looks like the lanes are going to reset. Malzahar taking a long way around, not trying to get picked off by the Fizz in his own jungle. Rakan very close to his Righteous Glory. Sitting on 2 assists, does have quite a bit more gold than the Sona. On top of that Ancient Coin, which provides passive gold gain from one of those coins like you saw him pick up there. Looking at the top lane, Maokai sitting at a 20 CS advantage, equals the gold out between him and Darius. Maokai finishing his Righteous Glory, so on top of the tank stats that item provides, also gives him the active that gives him increased movement speed towards enemy champions, allowing for the massive engage engine that Maokai already is to be amplified even farther than that with that item being on, if that item is able to be used. Looks like we have a 4v3 in the bot lane. Cho'Gath hiding in the back, but spotted out by a ward. Sona Q and pops the ult onto the Varus. Varus gets exhausted, but Rakan gets a double charm. Malefic Malzahar ult drops down onto the Rakan, and Rakan goes down, teleport from Darius, but the Maokai ult counters the engage. Ezreal E forward and flash, gets the Q behind the Cho'Gath to hit the Varus. Varus goes down, and Maokai caught up, taking damage from 4 people. The dunk comes out from the Darius, and that is a 3 for none for the red team. And they're going to pick up this tower in the bot lane. That'll be their second tower of the game as well. And that is going to give them a comfortable gold lead here, pushing them to just about 3,000 gold ahead 15 minutes into the game. That was a huge play for the bot side. Fizz not able to keep up with the roam that Malzahar did, or not going down in time, making that a 5v4 that very heavily turned to the red side's favor. On top of the kills that they picked up, red actually holds some very important summoner spells. Sona still has her flash, Malzahar has both summoners, and Tristana heal is up, and flash wasn't even available. But if we look at the blue side here, flash used from Cho'Gath, Maokai, and Varus. Varus holding onto his heal, but teleport used by the Maokai. So some very important map and survivability summoner spells blown from the blue side, going to make it a lot harder to survive these next fights, especially with this gold lead that the red side has picked up. And we look at the items, Tristana has now been pushed towards, or to her rapid fire cannon. Fizz going to look for the pick on the Sona. Does not dodge out the E damage, in a very easy pickup to secure that solo kill. Blue team is going to pick up their second dragon. Not going to be contested by the red side. But Fizz does, or Tristana does have her rapid fire cannon, so able to get those autos from even farther damage than normal. Varus ult drops on the Tristana, but Tristana just ults Varus away, pushing the Rakan with her. Rakan looking to tower dive here, walking under tower. Tristana getting autos down, making sure he's not healthy if he does try to turret dive. Third tower taken down by the red side. Now sitting at 4,000 gold lead. Front of belt forward from the Fizz, pops the Malzahar passive, gets the auto, Fish goes down. And the Fish pops, but Fizz forced to run away. Malzahar too tanky. Does now have a Haunting, guys, so get some health and magic damage on top of that, as well as magic penetration, which scales, or which synergizes with his sword boots, which also provide that magic penetration, making the magic resistance coming out from Cho'Gath, and eventually this Maokai become a little less important. Ezreal turning on the Rakan. Rakan forced the W away. Gonna be able to E over to the Varus over the wall and avoid that kill from Ezreal. Ardent sets are finished from both supports, so going to be able to amplify the damage from both of their ADs, providing that attack speed on heals and shields. Looks like we might have a scuffle in the jungle. Malzahar goes down to the Fizz, and Fizz is dead before he's able to do anything. Ezreal eating forward to try to get the Q onto Rakan, but not able to. And they've got their sights set on Varus. Varus is going to be able to walk out, but this Malzahar able to pick up some crucial kills with the ultimate, just one step ahead of the Fizz in terms of map plays. Even with Fizz's mobility, this Malzahar is doing very well, keeping a 60 CS lead, as well as matching, if not leading, this Fizz in roams. Ezreal with 4 kills is very close with Trinity Force, and once he gets that item will be a monstrous damage threat in the mid game. And once he eventually falls off, will then be lapped by the Tristana, who is one of, if not the best late game champions. So those AD threats will swap. So constant AD damage from them. Baron spawning in a minute. Neither team has quite the ward coverage to match, or the ward coverage to allow that map play. So we'll see if that is baited or sights are turned on, but we have pings towards this mid tier 2 turret. So perhaps red team is going to look to group here with their advantage and force it down. Varus is going back to base. Fizz protobelts forward, Q's through, flashes, but Malzahar hits the Fizz anyway, and the Fizz, being 3-4-1, is falling victim to this Malzahar ult over and over again. Malzahar ult nullifying the threat that this Fizz is able to provide, and the pings from the red team are going towards Baron. That pick is exactly what the red team needed to be able to turn their sights onto this objective. Even just one champion down allows them to take control of the map with the advantage that they're already having. And this Tristana, who was losing lane with an early kill given over to Varus, is now caught back up because of the pressure this Ezreal and Malzahar are providing. Black Cleaver finish from Darius. Darius opting to stand in the top lane and be a cross-map threat. Varus going for an attack speed oriented build, looking for a teamfight presence, going to pick up his Runaan's Hurricane, or more than likely to apply those Blight passive stacks to multiple champions at once. Could be going for Phantom Dancer for a little more survivability, but more common is that Runan's Hurricane build path. Tiamat built by the Darius, so definitely going for a split push 1v1 oriented build. That Tiamat giving him splash damage on his auto attacks, as well as another AD ratio ability to cast in his rotation. Leandri's picked up by the Malzahar. Malzahar now able to, on top of his already DOT damage, able to apply a percent max health burn from that item, which will scale with which will do double damage if the target it is applied to is slowed. So look for him to perhaps pick up a Rylai's Crystal Scepter to amplify that damage, as well as perhaps make him more tanky. Righteous Goring alt pop by Maokai, looking to pick out this Darius. Darius does get rooted up. Rakan drops down, pops hit on the Darius, and Darius is nommed by the Cho'Gath. And blue team has their eyes set on Baron. With Tristana and Sona in the bot lane, it's going to be up to this Ezreal to steal it. See if he's able to. Maokai dropping a little low, but healed up by the Rakan. Malzahar over. Maokai flash roots the Malzahar, but the Ezreal steals the Baron. And our eyes are set on this Malzahar, who gets Varus ulted and dies to the Cho'Gath CC following that. Tristana rocket jumps away. Maokai does W to the Tristana, knocking her up. Tristana heals and runs away, and coupled with the Sona heal, it does survive the fight, and that is a Baron steal for the red side. A very, very crucial steal. Baron being one of the things that will be able to push blue team back into an equal or even a lead standing is taken away under their noses by the Ezreal. Ezreal, I assume, smited it away. We didn't actually have vision on that. But that is crucial for the red team. Red team still sitting at around a 5,000 gold lead. Infinity Edge finished by Tristana, so I've spoken a lot about these 2-item power spikes. These AD carry champions relying on items, and 2 items is a very big place for them to be at. And Tristana finishing their Infinity Edge is going to allow her to output the damage that she's known to do. And with the peel that Sona is providing for, as well as the Malzahar ultimate, is going to be a tough task for this Fizz to be able to assassinate both Ezreal and Tristana. And even if he does this, Malzahar is just as much of a threat. We'll see if they're able to pull it out. Second item's being completed around the board here. Sidestone picked up from both supports. Runan's Hurricane is picked up by Varus, so that AoE damage is online. Sheen starting his Lich Bane purchase out of the Fizz. Abyssal Mass from Cho'Gath, and red team is looking to group mid and take tower. Tristana, while doing a ton of late game damage to champions, is also a siege engine. Her E able to be casted on champions, and on top of the already immense damage she does with her critical strikes, explodes to do more burst on top of that. So this Tristana becoming a very scary champion. Varus does have a 50 CS lead, but with her team at her side, Tristana just seems like the scarier of the 2 ADs right now. Darius sitting in the jungle, looking to pick up anybody looking to flank. Tristana's going to put her E down on the turret, and it's going to go down. It's a 5-0 turret lead from the red side, and on top of their 3-kill advantage, that is what's pushing their gold lead to close to 7,000 gold levels. This Baron's going to allow them to roam around the map and pick up just about whoever they want. Barso goes down onto the Tristana, but with the whole team around, it's going to be very hard to kill her. Fizz does drop his ult onto her. Rakan WQs forward, does hit 3 people. Darius dies to the 3-man. Ezreal on the backside dropping Q damage. Tristana and Ezreal drop very low, but the Fizz dies to the Ezreal. Maokai Wing onto the Ezreal, and Ezreal going down. Exhaust drop by the Sun onto the Maokai, and Red is going to have to run with their tails between their legs. For a fight that they were engaged on, picking up 2 kills is not the worst thing in the world, but it does close that gap lead just a little bit for the blue team, pushing it from 6,000 to just about 5,000. So picking up 1,000 gold in their favor. These little increases in gold is going to be what they're going to need to get back into these games, or this game. Cho'Gath, a very scary lizard monster. His size does scale with his ult stacks, so the bigger he is, the more damage he's going to do with that feast. So expect him to attempt to get onto one of these squishy targets and pop that true damage nuke. Ping's going on to Varus, but nobody really around. Ezreal picks up a pickaxe and an agility cloak, so looking to build Infinity Edge. A little bit of an unorthodox build. Does give him a lot of raw attack damage, but Ezreal not necessarily known for his auto attack crit and more for his poke on his Q, so we'll see if that benefits him more in these team fights other than perhaps a Blade of the Ruin King or something like that. Both supports with mobility boots, so able to get their wards down and cover a lot of distance in the neutral game. Fizz close to his Lich Bane would be a big power spike for him, able to do another bit of AP damage. Varsal goes down in his whiff, so that is one lockdown ability on cooldown now for the blue side. Baron's still alive. Excuse me, Baron is down on the red side, so that advantage is gone. So 26 minutes into this game, red team's sitting at a 6,000 gold lead, but have had the lead for quite a bit. Are going to need to find a way to close this game out, or it's going to be a lot more even as full builds start to come through. Not much to talk about as of now. Both teams just clearing waves out, looking to find any advantage that they can. Perhaps a pick with the Malzahar ult or the Fizz ult. Summoner spells are all coming back online, with the exception of Malzahar and Shogath Flash. Blue grouping on the bot side, and the duo Tristana and Sona looking to go top lane and clear this big wave out. Perhaps a Death Bush situation here, but red side wary of that, not going to push past their towers. Red does have all their towers up, so a very hard thing to do for this blue team is push into the red side while red side has all their towers to run back to. Blue side with only one last outer turret. Blue grouping top. Cho'Gath and Maokai getting to a place where they are very tanky. Malzahar doing a very good job at building magic penetration, able to shred through that to a point, but we'll be up to this Tristana and Ezreal to deal that DPS that will be able to break through their tank stats. Baron's up in 30 seconds, and the next Dragon up after that, so big map objectives coming back up here soon. Going to give these teams something to fight over for, as opposed to this stalemate that they've been having in the mid. Malzahar picking up Zanya, so on top of that passive that gives him that damage reduction and CC immunity, going to be very, very hard to kill. Static shift finished by Tristana, and she's starting to come online, and we'll get to a point where she'll be able to three-shot this Varus if he's not careful. Darius transitioning more into a tank role. Infinity Edge picked up by Ezreal. 30 minutes into the game here, these next set of crucial items starting to be picked up. Flash by Sona. Wary of the engage potential from Rakan. And with Baron on the table, blue team is grouping up, trying to get vision. Infernal Dragon is the dragon. Is a good dragon to pick up, but not worth losing Baron over. Maokai meeting Tristana in the mid lane. One auto goes down and nothing comes from that. Tristana walking towards the Infernal Dragon here. Will look to perhaps pick it up quickly before something else can happen. Rakan, little disrespect coming out from him. Walks up a little bit to get that Q off. Red team's turn to sweep vision. Tristana on Infernal Dragon. Does pick up the Infernal, so that's one map objective off the map. And this is a long vision battle here. Neither team wanting to overextend their place for vision. Silence dropped onto the Malzahar. Malzahar does still have passive. Blue team getting a little ambitious with their step here. Sweeping drop by the Rakan to clear this vision. Big wave for the blue side on the bot. Big wave for blue team on the bot side of the map. Gonna have to be dealt with unless Baron is the objective that they're worried about the most. Ezreal on the inhib turret, looking to pull pressure. Blue team forced to run at the red side. Righteous Glory popped by Maokai. Pops a W onto the Darius. This fight's going to get started. Rakan W's forward. 4-man silence. Fizz ult goes down. Rakan flash ults onto the Malzahar. 3-man Sona ult hits almost all the members of the blue side. Tristana jumps forward to get the DPS down, looking to kill this Cho'Gath. Heal drop to get that movement speed. And a beautiful Sona ult turns that fight on its head. And Tristana picks up the Cho'Gath kill, and that's going to open up this inhib turret for this inhib for an almost uncontested pickup here. A 2-for-0 team fight for the red side. And red ping is going onto the Baron. They do have the DPS to do it, but they don't have a jungler, so able to be stolen. Ezreal dying in that fight. And that Sona ult just about saved the red team from an otherwise scary position. Could have gone the other way if that ult didn't go as well as it had. And red decides to back off instead of trying to finish the Baron. And looks like they're going to back and spend the gold that they got from that team fight and turret. Blue's still yet to take a single turret. Down almost 1,000 golds, right around 8,000 as of now. Looks like they're going to go back, buy some items. Needlessly large rod built by Malzahar, so going to go for that death cap. Give him that % AP increase. Drax's fist picked up by Darius, so going to build that teammate into a Titanic Hydra. Give him some cleave damage. It does scale with his health, so making him another tank, off tank for this team. Tristana picking up Lord Dominic's Reverie, so able to deal damage to champions with higher percentage health. Sitting on a ward. Ward does die, so should know they're there. Cho'Gath hits a 3-man Q into the Rakan knockup, into the Maokai ult, and that is a clean 2-kill pickup. Malzahar does pick up the Rakan kill on the backside, and blue team looking to pick up more kills. Protobolt comes forward from the Fizz. Root hit by the Maokai, and Malzahar is deleted off the map, and blue team with just a superior ward coverage, they're able to stack their CC just about perfectly, and red side unable to do anything to contest in that team fight. It's going to be a free Baron for the blue team. Darius on the bot side looking to split and get some wave pressure here, but blue side's going to be able to back with their empowered recall. Careful pings out onto the Darius, so it's going to back here and try to get out. Bilgewater Cutlass picked up for the Ezreal, but blue team pigging out the Darius. Does know he's in that bush. Are they going to leave him be? They do leave him be. So Ezreal going for the Blade of the Rune King. Noticing that this blue side is out-tanking them, is going to try and get that % max health damage that Blade of the Rune King provides, allowing him to shred through this front line, as well as giving him lifesteal to keep himself alive in these fights. And with even kills here, red team still sitting at a 4,000 gold lead because of their turrets, but with this Baron the blue team picked up, could smell the death of the first tower. Could spell, excuse me. Grouping is 5 in the mid lane. Baron empowered minions crashing into this tier 1 tower. Tristana coming from base. At 5 items, a very scary champion. And this will be blue team's first tower of the game, closing the gold lead to just about 3,000. Tristana getting some autos onto Maokai, putting him to about 3/4 health. This Tristana is a scary champion. If she can stay alive in fights, could be over in just a few autos. Huge wave for the blue team on the top side of the map. The blue team is just going to back with the gold they picked up from the tower and reset. Almost identical builds from Maokai and Cho'Gath. Both being those frontline tanks are looking to mitigate the damage. The same damage as each other. So Randuin's helping with the critical strike damage from Tristana and Ezreal. And the Abyssal Mask stopping the Malzahar and the Sona. Blue team grouped as 5 in the bot lane, looking to take down their second tower here, the tier 1. Very low, so shouldn't be too much of a challenge to take that. Blue team still 3,000 gold ahead, but that gold lead closing ever so slowly with these turrets now finally starting to fall 35 minutes into the game. And blue team dragging this one out to a point where they're still in it. Kron W's forward to gets a vision, hits the blasting cone, and gets out of there safely. Ezreal walking over Ward. Gets up with a Bear Assault and the Cho'Gath Q, flash auto, and feast onto the Ezreal. And he now resides in the belly of the Lizard Monster. And that is a clean pickup from the Cho'Gath. Their sights turn onto the Elder Dragon. Maokai TP's back to base because Tristana's backdooring. Maokai going to try to hold them up while the blue team backs. Tristana going to take out this first Nexus tower, but will die to the Maokai. Uses flash and heal. Not sure how she's going to get out of this one. She's not. Does pick up a tower, but trades the Elder Dragon instead. And blue team now almost only 1,000 gold behind, clawing their way back into this game. Red team looking for a flank, but there's only 3. It's a 3v3, but no AD champion means very little DPS out of them. It looks like they're just going to retreat to their tier 2 tower and try to defend that. Elder Dragon on the side of blue, empowering that Mountain and Infernal is going to allow them to shred this tower. And they're now up 300 gold. The first gold lead that the blue side has had all game, coming from towers and Elder and Baron, these map objectives that have been sitting, waiting for them to be cashed in from the blue side, are now starting to net them a gold lead. And while this game is getting to a point where everybody's getting to 6 items, blue team being back in this is going to make this a harder hill to climb for the red side, where the almost 4 tanks, sorry, the 2 almost 3 tanks from the blue side are getting tankier and catching up in items, and the item advantage red team has been using to shred through them is becoming smaller and smaller as the game goes on. Last tier 1 tower for the red side on the top, so in the top lane. Blue does have red does have an open inhibitor in the middle, but it's going to be very hard to get through now that they've lost their tier 1s. Varus finishing his Guardian Angel, so not able to be bursted out immediately in these team fights. It's going to take a little more resource than that. Zanya's finished from Fizz, so same concept. QSS finished from Tristana, so if she does get hit by a Rakan Charm or something like that, we'll be able to get out of that. Gets hit by the Bear Assault. Maokai Root goes down, and she does drop that QSS, so he's alive. 3-man solo under tower. Tristana does die to the Cho'Gath anyway, but Ezreal free to do damage on the backside. Does pick up the Rakan. Sona trying to flash away from the Varus, but dies to the DOT. And blue team picks up a turret. Does get the GA from the Varus to be popped. Malzahar ult on the Maokai into the E from Darius, and Maokai W's the Q damage, survives a little bit longer, but gets dunked by the Darius. And what looked like a bad fight does go 2 for 2. Turret does end up dying, so blue side coming out a little bit ahead. And this game is neck and neck. Blue team doing everything they can to stay in it, and red team looking to use the end of what was an advantage for them to push themselves ahead into any form of lead. Ikel's Crucible built by the Rakan, so able to protect Varus or perhaps Fizz from some crowd control. Redemption, and what's going to be a locket from Sona, so a ton of AoE healing and shielding on top of her W will make a lot of this AoD damage coming out from the blue side harder to stick. And as summoner spells come up and champions start to respawn, looks like we're going to gear up for another team fight. Baron does spawn in a minute, so that objective will be back on the map to fight for, and the Vision War starts now. Blue pant popped by the Rakan, spots out the Sona. Red side with a giant wave on the bot side of the map, so watch that, see if it's able to crash on the turret and become more of a threat. Red team content with farming out these waves and letting blue side get their vision, knowing they're going to be able to get in there and sweep it out once Sona's sweeper is up. Cho hits the Q on Darius, but not much going to come from that. And you can feel the tension building here. Both teams grouped as 5, looking for any form of team fight. Summoner spells are up. Ultimate's online. What'll be the feather that breaks the camel's back here? Both teams grouped as 5. An explosive team fight will it's almost guaranteed to come out from this. Red's bot wave crashing into that inhib turret. Somebody's going to have to go deal with that, and that's going to give red side an advantage. Pings out onto the support and jungle duo. Red side looking to perhaps get a catch. Sona waiting on the wings, looking to get an ultimate. E on the Darius, forces out the Maokai flash. So Maokai flash now down. That's one engage tool gone from the blue side. The red side content with walking this wave into the tower, but instead turns their sights on Baron, looking to pop that sweeper and get as much vision control as they can. They might try to burst it quick, knowing that the blue side went bot to stop the wave. They are going to jump onto it. Ezreal Arcane shifts forward, and they're going to do everything they can to burst this. Maokai TPing on the bot side towards that red buff, but that Baron is melting super fast from the combined DPS from Tristan and Ezreal, and as long as red side can get out of here with their lives, they can. This will be okay for them. Sona dies, but Rakan picked up because of the Malzahar ult. Tristana hit by the fish, and the Cho'Gath goes down on the ult goes down on the Ezreal, and he gets bursted out, and Darius is the last one alive with Baron, and what appeared to be a quick Baron call quickly turns into the favor of blue side, only losing one and able to pick it up at least 2 towers. Baron does survive on the Darius, but not sure if that was worth it by any means. Blue now up 2,000 gold. And this game will be decided by one team fight. Inhib is going to go down on the top side, so that pressure is there, and blue looks like they're going to try to finish it here. Tristana up in 5. Sona gets a 3-man ult. Fizz looking to assassinate the Sona. Sona is going to go down here, but Darius is insanely tanky. They're going to get one turret, but they're going to be forced to back off or risk dying to this Tristana. Tristana tags the Maokai, does get hit by the Cho'Gath Q, and instead will... Blue side will opt to leave this inhib push. Red holding on a little bit longer. Deathcat finished by the Malzahar. But Ezreal gets hit by the Varus ultimate and picked off in his own jungle. And pings go back up onto the top. Pings from the blue side on the top wave. Red's afraid for their base's life. Flash from Rakan. W forward. Almost hits the Tristana, but trying to W out just in time. Rakan not hitting anybody with the ultimate. Tristana getting autos and putting down a ton of damage. Malzahar still has his passive, so pseudo tanky from that until it gets popped. Is popped from the Varus, so no threat there. Tristana inches from killing the Cho'Gath. The Maokai ult drops down just to keep him alive. Red team gonna look to stop the backs from the blue side, try to keep them unhealthy while they clear these waves out. Blue team just gonna back into a bush and kill anybody who comes to find them. So 43 minutes into this game, full builds are starting to be completed, and the gold leads are starting to become irrelevant. With every champion has 6 items, gold does almost nothing to help them, other than elixirs and perhaps control words from the supports, but even then the supports are starting to fill their 6th item slot. And this game is as even can be at this point. Tristana opting for the QSS other than a Guardian's Angel. Ezreal full build. Darius almost full build. Tristana full build. Varus full build. Varus on 450 CS. But that number means almost nothing now that it's full build. The gold going to waste. Red grouping up in the middle. Going to look to 5-man this inhibitor turret down. Malzahar has pushed the bot wave. And here comes the mid push. Are they going to be able to contest it? Varus getting autos on the turret. Red is going to let this turret go down. Gonna look to try and fight inside their base. Maokai hitting the turret. Tristana rocket jumps away, afraid from the CC that could come out. And that is a free inhib for blue. So 2 inhibs down. Gonna be super minions crashing into the base. As this clock keeps ticking and the CS numbers keep getting higher, we get closer and closer to a point where one team fight will decide it. The longer the game goes, those death timers get longer and longer, and what was at one point a good pickoff in the jungle that nets perhaps a tower could mean the game if one team is forced to fight 4v5 for a minute. Blue grouping bot looking to take down this last row of towers. Red side gonna have to fight this off. Not sure if they can handle a double super minion push. Marsal goes down. Hits a Darius. Darius gets ulted by the Rakan. Rakan on the backside does get popped by the Tristana. Fizz ult dropped on, or Sonar dropped on the Fizz. Fizz dies. And Red is now chasing, and blue team running with their tails behind their legs. Ezreal Arcane shifts forward. Cho'Gath turning, trying to fight. Sona picks up the kill on the Cho'Gath. Maokai dubbing in, trying to stop them from getting to the Varus. And Maokai is going to go down eventually. Maokai being so tanky. But Malzahar picks up the kill. And pings on the red side to go back and defend their base. Gonna have to stop these super minions from taking the tower. And that was a great team fight from the red side, picking up everybody but Varus. With an overzealous play from the blue team. But it was everything they had to stop them. The super minions crashing in, man, they couldn't take any objectives and instead forced to go back and defend their base. Malzahar clearing wards around this Elder Dragon. It is the only objective up right now. Baron spawns in a minute and a half. Ezreal and Malzahar looking to burst out this dragon. TP comes out from Darius. Gonna look to tank this Elder Dragon so that nobody takes damage. As blue team respawns, everybody getting closer to full build. They are going to group in the mid lane. Going to look to perhaps push their supers in and then rotate top to take this inhib that is exposed. And 48 minutes into the game, this more than likely will be the final team fight here. Summoner spells coming online. TP down from the Darius. Carries having their flashes and their heals, their barriers. Baron coming online in 15 seconds. Gonna be an objective fought over here. Elder Dragon on the red side. Red side grouping up. And red looking to push middle here. Gonna try to end it with their Elder Dragon advantage, forcing the blue off the Baron. Side set on the inhibitor. Rupture misses. Maokai pops his ult and Wrench's Glory. W's onto the Tristana. Tristana on the backside. Redemption drops down. Fizz ult hits the Malzahar. Malzahar forced to pop Zhonya's. Darius on the backside. Darius ult hits 4 people. Fizz pops the Malzahar. Malzahar dead on the backside, but Tristana picks up the Rakan kill. Zhonya comes out from the Fizz. Darius trying to take as much as he can. Varus ult hits the Tristana. Tristana then gets W by the Maokai, and it's just Ezreal and Tristana alive on the backside. Darius flash autos, and that is a clean ace from the blue side, and a TP onto the top wave is going to be the blue team trying to finish this game. This could be the end. Respawn timers at 45 seconds on the Malzahar, a minute for everybody else, and it's going to be a tough task to defend this last push here. Without any minions, are going to be forced to go top and kill this inhibitor.
Red team's inhibitor is respawning soon.
Blue team hitting the Nexus turret. Unless a miracle happens, this is going to be the end of this game. Fizz getting those Lichbane procs. Finishing the turret out here. But the inhibitor responds and they can't finish the auto attack. Force a turn on the inhibitor, and that's going to make these respawn timers get ever closer to be able to try and defend. Nexus turret goes down. But that is going to spell the end of this game. Malzahar is going to spawn, but it's not going to be enough. That is the victory for the blue team in a 50-minute game. And we will be back in a moment to get into our second game here at the ROG Arena at Microsoft. Welcome back to the ROG League of Legends Arena here at the Microsoft Store at Easton Town Center. We are into our second game. Going to switch over to picks and bans and jump right into it. We have Team World Class versus Team Boosted Animals. Team World Class with their first ban bans out Thresh. It's a very common support pick, able to do a lot, known as a jack of all trades kind of support. Has a shield, has disengage, has peel, has pick potential. So just a very strong overall champion. So able to get that out comfortably. Team Boosted Animals bans out Maokai. Seeing the results from that Maokai last game is a very safe ban. Very good engage tank champion, very hard to kill.
I recommend skipping.
Lulu out of Team World Class, taking away that Ardent Sensor, abusing support, able to amplify the auto attack damage with help from that Pix, as well as having that ultimate to give increased health to the AD. So taking away two supports here, perhaps looking to target ban the support player from Team Boosted Animals. Second ban comes out is Sejuani from Boosted Animals, is another magic damage tank, this time from the jungle. So just trying to take away as many tank threats as champions. We are in a pseudo tank meta right now. Tank items being very strong on top of the support items. So taking away those threats. Team World Class with their last ban in the first round will ban Tristana. So that late game AD taken away swiftly. Saw how much damage that Tristana was able to do in the last game, even without a lead in lane. So making sure that this bot lane is not able to do as much as they might be able to do. And Team Boosted Animals bans out Jarvan. Another off tank like that Darius in the last game does more damage than what a normal tank would do, but his EQ flag drag combo, very good for engaging on top of that Cataclysm ult, keeping everybody inside and forcing mobility or they will die. So into picks, Team World Class picks up Twitch as their first champion. Twitch a assassin AD carry, so to speak, able to stealth and walk forward. Picking up kills that way is all giving increased range and having that true damage tick on his passive. The Lovers of the Rift combo picked up 14 boosted animals, Xayah and Rakan. Rakan, that engaged champion we saw from the last game, and Xayah being the counterpart to that duo. They actually are buffed when played together. Rakan's E, which is a shield that dashes to a champion, is farther range when cast on Xayah, and Xayah gives Rakan attack speed on when she uses her W and he's around. So complement each other very well. Pusai picks up Shyvana and Nami. Nami, one of those Ardent Sensor champions, able to provide a lot of crowd control with the stun from her bubble as well as the knockup from her ultimate. And couple that with the heal on her W, is able to use that Ardent Sensor to make this Twitch a very scary champion. Last pick comes out from the red side is Rammus. Rammus, a anti-attack damage jungler, very tanky. His W, defensive curl, reflecting damage on auto attacks back, and his E taunting the champion he casts on, forcing him to attack him. So very good champion against something like a Shyvana and a Twitch, but we'll see how that ends up going. As we get into the second rounds of ban here, Cho'Gath is banned away. We saw the damage potential from that ultimate out of Cho'Gath.